For the record, this is States Exhibit 2 as a full exhibit.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Glasses here. Welcome to, this is a joint After the Bars Legal Live Wire. Just kind of a recap of the day of what happened at the Jason Levesque trial. As promised earlier in the Morning Mayhem show. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. How's it going, Sherry? James Collins cares. How are you doing today? And Galen, hey, how are you? I'm just gonna kind of
voice seems to carry fairly well, but I'm just gonna bring this down and
start kind of where we stopped this morning. Actually, I'm gonna go a little more ahead, past the video, and back to her testimony. So she's just watched the video and told the prosecutor what she heard. She didn't hear anything that they said, but she's seen him fire one shot. Kyle, the victim, hit the ground, and then he walked over and fired 5 more shots. Just a quick trigger warning. This is an attempted murder trial. So there will be like a little bit of graphic language talking about acts of violence. So I just want to let everyone know if that's not cool with you, and I totally understand, this might not be the best place to be on YouTube right now. So we're just going to follow through with, so she's just seen that, and so now he's going to be asking her some questions about what she heard. And wait till we get to the defendant's lawyer at the cross-examination. It's pretty good. It doesn't get heated or anything, but it gets a little snarky. How about that? We'll just leave it at that.
Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
It's got to be really hard for her.
We just left
Absolutely.
off where you went outside. Can you describe how Kyle appeared to you when you reached him?
When I went outside, he was curled up in a ball by the telephone pole, bleeding profusely.
Looks really jumpy. I don't know how
I called 911.
it sounds to you guys.
What's your estimate of how long it took for law enforcement to respond?
Only a couple of minutes. It was very fast.
And from there, can you just briefly describe to us the sequence of events?
I need to see how.
Yeah, one of the officers started rendering aid while the other officers took Mr. Levesque into custody.
And when you say rendering aid, did they render aid at the scene, at that location?
Yeah, I believe one of the officers ripped his shirt off. They had to turn him over onto his side because he was choking on blood from the first shot to the face.
Were you there for that?
Yes.
And can you just confirm for us that Kyle was taken from the scene by ambulance to a local hospital?
Yeah, first he was taken by ambulance to Frisbee.
So it's really just the video that's jumpy.
Can you just describe for us the sequence
guys.
of events and what happens next? In terms of
I couldn't get my car out of the driveway, so I had to call one of my coworkers who came and picked me up, and she brought me to Frisbee.
Let's see if this helps a little.
Back into the room where Kyle was. They had taken off most of his clothing. They had to cut it off. He was not conscious. He was still alive, but he was not conscious. They told me that he had lost a good portion of his blood and that they were.
I just have to object to what you're saying.
But I understand.
Wonder why it's so jumpy today.
And focus. When I'm asking about the experience, it's not necessary, and other witnesses would have to provide the actual
Galen,
assessment.
yes, this is a stand your ground.
I'd ask you not to convey through hearsay what the doctors told you.
Oh, sure.
I just want to get.
I'm just going to pause it for a second. So yeah, Galen asks, would this be considered a stand your ground law in New Hampshire? It absolutely is considered that in New Hampshire. I looked it up yesterday. That's not how they word it, but that's it. That's the law per se. I think we like to use stand your ground since the Sandusky. What was that guy's name? Twan something, but it was that Sandusky in Florida, the case that happened in Florida where the security officer got a little gung ho. And that's where they were trying to determine if it was a standard ground. Almost the same thing. The guy got scared and went ballistic with his pistol. No pun intended. Truly no pun intended. So it's yeah. So I don't know if anyone's seen the video from yesterday. So basically, the defense is that he thought he was going to come take his gun away from him because he got in his face like this just prior, like nose in his face, my hands his face, and got in his face and made threats. Basically, was like this and said that he would unalive him and his family, and then left and turned around halfway in the driveway and came back aggressively. And he thought that his defense is that he thought he was going to take his weapon away, and that's their defense. And when we listen to the defense attorney cross-examine her, it's plain and loud and clear what his defense is going to be by the questions they ask, and it does get a little snarky. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get back to hers. I'm sorry it's a little jumpy, guys. I don't know what I can do except for to maybe connect a Ethernet cable to my. But I've been finding that my Wi-Fi is way faster than my Ethernet. Maybe if I go.
A sequence of your
directly.
experience. Where did you go? How long were you at Frisbee?
He was not I couldn't tell you exactly how long we were there. It was not very long. He was transported to Portsmouth shortly after.
What did you do from there?
I went to Portsmouth. I had my coworker drive me to Portsmouth.
Look, we got a visitor.
And were you able to see Kyle?
I was not able to see Kyle.
She just got out of school.
Because he was in emergency service.
And how long?
Leprechaun
did your
trip?
estimate? And again, I don't need
That's
to
cool.
know exact, but how long?
I can't
do
wait to
you
help
think
her with
you were
that.
at, Portsmouth?
I know.
Maybe a couple of
Can't wait to
hours.
see it.
And what happened next?
Can't wait to see her
They,
leprechaun trip.
took him to Boston Medical Center.
You know how we got down there?
Yeah,
Oh,
by
honey.
ambulance.
And what did you do?
I went home to check on my children because they had stayed home. And then I went to Boston.
And how often were you able to see Kyle in Boston?
I stayed with Kyle in Boston from the day he got there until the day he went home.
Approximately how long was he admitted to the Boston facility?
April 5th to May 1st.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to approach.
Just let it be known that the victim is still alive. Obviously, it's an attempted murder case. While they're doing this, I'm going to get in the chat and just say hi to everybody. Sherry LeBron, how are you doing this afternoon? It's good to see you. James Collins Cares, thank you so much for your help with the stream and in the chat. Hey, Galen, how's it going? Noel, hi from Portland, Oregon. My mom used to have a house in Hillsboro. We called it Hills Burrito. And she didn't like that because she's Mexican, of course. She didn't like it when we called it Hills Burrito. But like all of my friends did, and you know, I mean, it's something that it was called. It's not like anything that we made up. Hey, ASAP Lizzie, how are you doing today? Salmon Come, I missed the live today. I know we missed you. So much. Hey, Sid, how are you doing? Nana24, thank you so much for joining us and being a member. Hey, John Luzon. I know you're still welding. This is like your work time right now. I get it, brother, and I appreciate you checking in. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Woofy, how are you today? Thank you so much for your help during the live with the chat. I just want to let you guys know, like, before I started the show today, yesterday from doing this live, I lost 14 subscribers. I don't know why. I don't know what I said. If that's why, or maybe they said, I don't like court stuff. If he's going to be showing court stuff, I don't care. I just wanted to know I am going to be showing lots of legal stuff, and all my documentaries are on true crime. So this is basically a news and true crime channel. That's what we're going to do. And these trials are considered true crime. A lot of times we see documentaries on true crime after the trial's done, the person goes, and is off to prison. If it's something that kind of true crime. So, I just want to let people know that, like, right off the rip, because I don't like losing subscribers, but I'm guessing maybe that's the reason why, or unless I said something offensive. I don't remember saying anything offensive or that could be construed as offensive. And if I did, then this isn't the channel for you, right? I do have an idea what it might be, because I'm kind of like losing subscribers a little bit at a time, and I think it's pretty obvious on what's going on. So pretty obvious. And I don't know why it's trying to be hid. Just inform your soldiers just to go ahead and bounce, right? Hey, where am I at? Take R. Kelly and give us back Tupac. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Yeah, I love watching these things with the host too. I don't know if you caught yesterday's, but I thought I had some pretty insightful things to say on the opening statements. If you didn't catch it live, you should go check it out. It was pretty interesting. I'm not just saying what I said was interesting, but the opening statements are pretty interesting. Hey, Jamie Palmer, how are you doing today? Teresa Clay, how are you today? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Nana of 2, how are you today? 2-4. You guys are gonna get me all hemmed up with the nanas. The nanas are gonna get me. Hey, Steve, how's it going on, brother? Yeah, that's right. Do you remember there's a second part to that? I do not remember the second part. I want to say only Lavoie could get the second part. Namad put up a link to the channel you will be on Saturday. Yes, we'll do that tomorrow. I will get all that information today. I haven't checked any emails today. I need to do that, but I had marriage counseling today and all the things. So it's been kind of a hectic day. But yeah, there will definitely be a link in the chat tomorrow for sure. I'll try to get that when I check the emails. I'll send her an email and try to get that link. That should be super cool. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I hear. Hey, Caddy Connie and Lamata. There she is, right there. Maybe she could put up a link. I don't know if you are not a mod, if you can put up links. I'm not too sure on that. Hey, Ian, how are you doing today? Hi, y'all. Second stream. That's right. Teresa Clay, how are you doing? I think I already said hi. My other's Keeper, how are you? It's good to see you this afternoon. All right, let's get back to it, and I'll go back and check the chat because we only have so much.
With permission, I'd like to approach, show this witness what's been marked as State's Exhibit 19 as a full exhibit. Counsel is 260 discovered.
Looks like they're showing an aerial view of the driveways in the house. Yep.
And that's okay.
I tried to get the guy's address so I could put up an aerial view, like a Google Streets view, and I cannot get the address anywhere. He's basically asking her, is this where you live?
That's Kyle. Yes.
Oh, I could be wrong what it was. That sure is what it looked like. She just said, yeah, that's Kyle. It looked like a top view of me. I apologize, guys. Maybe that's why the people unsubscribe. Give out bad info.
Your Honor, can I ask the court to indulge me and remind the jurors that they'll have full access to any exhibits that are.
Yeah, I'm about to do that. So while you take your time looking at it now, understand you'll have an opportunity, any full exhibits show an opportunity to look at later, in the jury's on the jury. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Angela, you said he was, released from the hospital. What was his, for instance, his last medical appointment related to these events?
The last medical appointment he just had was in the beginning of March, and he just went for a CAT scan, it was Tuesday, I think, Monday or Tuesday? Monday.
Remember where Kyle was working before these events?
Yeah, he was working at Eldridge Lumber in Portsmouth.
Doing what?
He would like, it's not a mill yard where they, make the wood, they sell it. So he would like stock the shelves, help people if they came in to buy the lumber, load their trucks, stuff like that.
Been able to return to work?
No,
Physically, how is he today?
still recovering.
And can you describe kind of his mental state concerning these events now?
He certainly is not the same person mentally that he was before this happened. He has severe PTSD. He's very depressed. He has a lot of anxiety because a lot of paranoia.
Is he still at home with you?
Yes.
No, if you just have a minute.
Hold on. I don't want to say because I don't know for
Sounds
sure.
like
Never mind.
a strange question, but there's some legal obligations on my part. But I need to ask you, are you able to identify Jason Levesque in the courtroom today?
Yes, he's right over there.
And could you please identify him by some description of clothing or his appearance?
He's the man sitting right there with the dark beard, with the gray suit on and the blue undershirt.
Thank you, Your Honor. May
Oh,
the
she
record
didn't say
reflect
it.
that this witness has identified the defendant as the.
I would have loved if she would have said, "Yeah, the guy with the man bun,
That she's referred to.
knocking it."
Thank you, Your Honor. Angela, those were my questions. I appreciate your time. As you know, Attorney Sisti will likely have some questions
No.
for you as well.
Sure, thank you.
I may, Judge.
Let me pause this for the. Honey, hold on. I can't say what I'm about to say with her. Honey, what's up? What? No, I can't say what I need to say something that you can't hear. What do you need? I'm sorry. Which shoebox? Why? That's my shoebox. There's stuff in it. That's my shoebox, honey. I'm sorry, guys. Never mind. I'll tell you what I was going to say here in a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. She's gone. So basically, for him, let's just back up a second. So the guy runs out, and she says, and it's on the video. Up there he goes. I hope he doesn't do anything bad. She's saying that about Jason Levesque, the guy who did the shooting. And he's also saying, and he's going to testify to this, saying that he came out, got in my face, was touching my face with his face, and said, "I'm going to kill, if you don't move that snow, I'm going to kill you and your family." Now, I don't know if he said all that, but I bet you he threatened to kill him. I bet you he did. Why else would this dude just, when he's coming back, be so freaked out to blow him away? Now, I know guys have done lots of lesser things for lesser reasons, but these guys are just neighbors, and the way she reacted by saying, oh, there he goes. I hope he doesn't do anything wrong. Or I hope he doesn't do anything. I know she's talking about her dude. It's really the only thing that makes sense. It really is, considering the outcome. So I think a lot of these tears are from guilt. I really do. And that's just me lightweight playing devil's advocate, right? And real quick, and that's an educated opinion. From all the time I've done with all the bad guys, for all the reasons that I've heard them use a pew-pew while committing different acts, different reasons, different responses. A lot of years of talking to people that have committed these kinds of offenses. And it's never for no reason. It's never because I just don't like my neighbor. I promise you. All right, let's get back to it.
Morning.
Good morning.
I do have a few questions,
Sure.
and nobody wants to put you through this kind of stuff. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Prior to this date, did you ever have a conversation with Jason?
I had never spoken to that man ever.
Correct. You'd never spoken to that man ever, and he has never approached you before that date, ever.
No.
I think I may be having a technical difficulty.
That's good. That's good. So why would he have a reason? Like, you guys have never, it's not like this angry neighbors, we hate you, you hate us. We've just never talked. You've never talked to him. And I hate it when if I have a neighbor I can't talk to, I try to meet my neighbors. I want to know who's living next to me. I have neighbors right now that I've reached out to them to try to talk. But like now, like if we both pull up at the same time, they'll wait for me to get out of the car and leave and go in, so there won't be any conversation. So sometimes I'll make them wait. Cause I want to like say, hey, how you doing? And I know that they do that. And so now sometimes I'll just like text someone or call my wife, and just to see how long they'll wait, and they won't get out until after I go in. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. Well, two of my neighbors.
We don't want to technical. Bad way to stop a trial. I'm sorry, Mark. Tell us when you're coming.
Thank you, sir.
If the questions are low,
Okay,
I will repeat the
You
question.
never had a conversation with him, right?
No.
You never had a
Never had a
conversation with you, right? He never had a bad word for you, right?
No, I never spoken to him before.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Yep. No bad
And
words,
how
no bad
long
blood.
were you there from the time you left Farmington?
At the time of the incident, it was 2 years we were living there.
And again, I don't know if I heard you right. Was there a particular reason you left Farmington?
No, we just got a new place. It happened to be in Rochester.
All right, even though the kids were comfortable in the school, you wanted to go to Rochester, is that the deal?
Yeah.
On that particular night, actually, I think you may have made a little bit of a mistake, but I don't want to get too technical. It actually wasn't snowing at the time, at about 10 o'clock p.m. on that night, correct? Snow had stopped.
I'm not really sure.
You're not sure? I want to make sure that we're sure of a lot of things here. Okay.
She's hostile.
Actually, let me ask you a kind of a goofy question, I guess.
Sure.
You were having problems and anxiety about your driveway being plowed.
Yes, my daughter's friend, father was supposed to come plow us out with his plow truck.
And you all had to get out in the morning and you were concerned about that.
Yes.
And you were actually kind of anxious about having to hand shovel the whole thing?
I wouldn't call it anxious. We were concerned that we were gonna have to shovel by hand. Yes, it wasn't, no.
You see where he's getting at?
You saw in the video, there was a guy right next door with a plow, right?
Yes,
Did anybody have the idea that maybe you could go out and ask that guy right there?
actually, my mother, who used to live in the front of our house, had asked Mr. Levesque one time prior when it snowed.
I'm gonna ask you. Did you or Kyle have the idea that maybe you could go right next door because you were in some trouble and ask him to plow your driveway?
No, because he had refused it before,
To you?
to my
She
mother.
didn't wait to
You
say
don't know
that.
what happened there, do you?
I wasn't present, no, but she told me.
Okay, so.
Before or
let's talk
after?
about you and Kyle.
Sure.
Neither you nor Kyle had the idea to go over and ask him politely to just plow your driveway, right?
No, we didn't ask him.
And that idea never came up, or it never came up in conversation.
No, we never talked about it.
There's no way he refused. Well, maybe he did. Who,
At some
know,
point in time,
humans could be mean.
around, I guess it was a
I
little
remember
after
not
10 o'clock
everyone's like,
PM,
I would, if they asked me to go
Kyle
hand
decided
shovel
to
it, I
go
would.
out to talk to Jason, right?
Yes.
And was he a bit perturbed?
He was, I don't know, a bit perturbed, I guess, that he was plowing snow at the end of our driveway, yes.
Well, actually, you say that, but we're gonna play that video again in a second, all right?
Yeah, sure.
We will. And the end of your driveway, of course, is on one side of the telephone pole, right?
Yes,
And on the other side of the telephone pole, there's no driveway there.
yeah, that's where his porch, Mr. Levesque's porch is.
Right. In fact, the driveway itself actually isn't at the edge of the telephone pole. It actually starts about 8 feet in,
Okay,
right? I mean, you live there.
yeah,
Okay. I mean, I'll show you a photo if you need to see it still.
sure.
Okay. I don't want to be messing around. I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. 294 evidence. That's what makes
Thank
you
you.
clear.
So basically what he's getting to is,
Exactly.
and I'll just pause it for a sec. I mean, we are a commentary channel and this is what I'm doing. So I know some people be like, no, just keep playing it. Quit interrupting. Well, I mean, I'm here for commentary. So what he's getting at is there was never any snow blocking the actual driveway, that there's like an 8 feet space that the snow might get moved into, or that did get moved into. And, but this, gentleman was highly upset that it was in that, little space, but it was, none of it was ever, to use the lawyer's words from opening statement, had molested the driveway. Those are his words, not mine. I would never use the word molest to talk about snow being in a driveway, but that's what he used. Just some goofy legalese, I guess. Again, his words. I wish I could have been more. Still could, I guess.
I'm going to show you what we marked as defendant D for identification.
Yes,
What is it?
that is the front of Jason Levesque's house, and my driveway is to the left if you're looking at the picture.
Is that a pretty good picture?
Yes,
Accurately show that.
yes.
Okay, yeah, he's very-
No objection, John.
No objection, yeah, he's very close to it.
When she first came on the stand this morning, I said, "Oh, she seems lovely," but I've since heard her on the recording, and she seems kind of a Karen, just a little bit.
We got the utility pole, right?
Yes,
And the utility pole is, in the very center of this picture.
I wouldn't call that the center.
It's on the side of your ground.
His house is in the center of the picture.
Okay. The pole is on the side of your ground.
Right,
Looking at the photograph, the pole is to the right of your ground.
correct.
If I can get closer to the pole. You may.
I like this lawyer, man. He's all by himself too. He's got no paralegal there, no co-counsel. He's like, "Don't trip, I got this."
I'm going to ask that the video be played a little bit in a minute, okay? But
But you had to get a second mortgage on his house to hire him, though. Did somebody get an ad again?
Levesque wasn't plowing your driveway that day.
Oh, I can pause them. Delay ads.
And the department.
I can only do it for
Public
10
Works
minutes
had
at a
plowed
time,
the
so
road
mark the
that
time.
day, right?
Yes.
And your concern was
5:08.
that
It's so weird that
they
they've
plowed in
all of
front
a
your driveway.
sudden started doing
They
it.
had already plowed in front of my driveway, correct?
Okay. And that was a concern because you got to bust through that by hand the next
Sorry,
day.
guys, don't worry. There won't be any ads for 10 more minutes, and then
That
I'll
was the
start again.
concern that you folks were talking about just prior to Kyle approaching Jason, right?
Yeah, the concern was that he was piling more snow that we were gonna have to shovel.
Okay, I want to be clear because we're going to see the video again. okay?
Sure.
All right. And we know which side of the pole, is what and where the driveway is, right?
Yep.
And the photo I showed you is accurate as to where the driveway is, right?
Yeah, and you can see that the side of my driveway by Mr. Levesque's house, the telephone pole is right by the end of that part. And we do park our cars there as well.
Again, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you at all, okay? But that pole's not part of your driveway.
I know the pole is at the corner of my driveway.
Right. In fact, there's a few feet before you get to your driveway from the pole.
I couldn't tell you exactly how far from my driveway.
Okay. Right. We're gonna get to it in a second. So it actually wasn't snowing.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't ask
That guy
the
went
fact
out there
to plow
mad.
snow. Your claim is that he was plowing snow into your driveway?
Yes, he was plowing some snow in front of my driveway.
And you are claiming that that's actually what you saw?
Yes,
Have you seen this entire video yet?
I have seen the entire video multiple times.
Okay, good. All right. Now, in that particular video as well, there is additional comments from you. Not only did you say, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid.
Very clever.
Today,
Very clever. ASAP,
claim
Lizzie.
that you're referring to Jason,
Yes,
and you say, I hope he doesn't do anything fucking dumb.
yes,
And today you're claiming that that has to do with Jason.
it does.
Did you tell the police that at any point in time?
Yes, I did.
You did. And which police officer did you discuss?
I'm
that?
not sure. I talked to so many.
Talked to so many. Well, let me tell you something, okay? Before you said those two things, you also said something, okay? As Kyle was crossing the driveway
Mhm.
toward Jason. You remember what you said?
Yep, there he goes.
There he goes.
Yeah.
What were you referring to there?
Mr. Levesque getting out of his truck.
He wasn't getting out of the truck.
The door had opened.
Yeah. We're gonna play the video.
Okay, that's fine.
So she's saying, so when her boyfriend rounded the driveway, she said, "Oh, hope he doesn't do anything dumb." And then when he was halfway down the driveway, oh, there he goes. And she was saying that about a guy she's never talked to, never said, never done anything with. And that she's saying, oh, there he goes. But she's saying, she's saying about Jason Levesque, who's still in his truck. I can almost guarantee you that defense attorney has watched that video 1,000 times, and Jason Levesque had not made a move. She's saying the door would open. She's watched it a lot too, so It's going to be hard to tell until the video gets played. Hopefully for that video, because there's no graphic, it's not graphic in nature, that Court TV gets a hold of it and lets us see it. That'd be awesome.
Again, you were asked by the prosecution as to whether or not you could hear any exchange of words out in the road.
Right.
And you claim you couldn't hear it.
Same.
No, I couldn't hear anything.
I mean, most critically, you certainly didn't hear Jason say anything, right?
I didn't hear either of them say anything.
So what happened out in that road, in any exchange, you would have no idea.
Not the words, no.
You wouldn't know if there was a threat, right?
I wouldn't know, no.
From your
I
observation,
bet you when that guy left the
did you
house.
see a young lady out there with Jason as well.
No, I did not.
I bet you when he left the house, he's like, I'm going to go tell this fool right now. She's like, oh, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. Man, I could almost guarantee it.
We could set up.
Setting up the TV. This is the benefit of catching the replay.
Okay, if we could take it from the beginning.
Ooh, you can almost see it there. Ooh, I like that. Man, I wish I could. I mean, I could zoom in. Let's get a little zoom in. Oh, it's just zooming in on the text and not the video. Bummer. Bummer. I was going to edit a video and just do the highlights, but that would have taken me 45 minutes. I wanted to get the live going.
Actual plowing taking place. The jury.
Okay, Court
I'm gonna
TV.
ask you, why don't you take a look too, so we're all looking.
Okay, Court TV.
Is it set up? I can't tell if you guys.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
All jurors seat. Thank you.
Ma'am, just so before we started, that dark mark across the center, that's just part of the window, right?
That's just part of the window, yes.
Okay, that doesn't indicate any kind of a clearance on the driveway or anything else?
No.
Okay, all right, good. If we could start the video, please.
Oh, we might be able to see a little something. A little
I'll ask you a
something.
few questions as we go, if that's okay. Okay.
If it does look like it's going to get graphic, I will. Well, I'm sure Court TV will, because they have a 2-minute delay.
Did you see that at all from the window?
I wasn't looking out the window at this point when he was plowing.
Okay.
And that ain't a lot of snow. You see it up here in Montana.
Now, would you agree it's not plowing anything in front of your driveway, right?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay.
He said, okay, you agreed there's nothing in your driveway. It's just praise God that the gentleman wasn't fatally injured. And the guy's parking, I guess. Or he's still plowing. Trying to see what's going on so I can kind of commentate a little. It's night vision from the cameras. See, that's
Okay, we can stop it right there. Now, he did plow in front of his home, correct?
Yes.
And he plowed right up to the pole, right?
Yes,
He did not plow over to the other side of the pole, correct?
he was still actively plowing.
I understand, we're looking at this right now. He is,
The edge of my driveway is shortly after that pole. Like I said, we utilize both lanes of the driveway. And my driveway starts shortly after the pole on the right hand side.
that is correct. And he has not plowed any snow on that side.
In this spring, yes, he did stop the pole.
Thank you. We can continue.
I guess if we don't have a reference of whose house is what, I mean, it looks to me that that's coming from her front porch and that's the driveway, that empty space. That empty space looks like the driveway. Anything white is snow, so
Stop it right there. You did exactly the same thing, right?
Yeah, but I pushed the snow out towards my driveway.
It's not over your driveway, correct?
It is almost at my driveway, yes. My driveway is shortly right
she's
there.
saying it's almost at my driveway. Yes.
In your driveway, correct?
Not in my driveway now.
We can continue.
This poor guy probably got shot because of his nagging girlfriend probably sent him out there on a mission, and he was so upset about her complaining about the driveway. What I would have done, I just would have been like, man, could you please move this snow, bro? Man, my girl is just freaking out. Of course, all of this is speculation. None of it probably happened the way I'm saying it.
We can stop it right there.
Yeah, left is the defendant's house. That's right, man up too.
Thank you.
Because they said that his house goes to the end of the driveway. That's right. Good. I'm glad you guys are able to hear it. I got some law nerds on my
Now, are
team.
we looking out the window at this time?
No,
Okay. Stop it again. That didn't go in your driveway either, did it?
no.
Thank you. Get it going again.
Can you guys hear me? Because I'm not on the stage, but I'm behind the video. Oh, yep, you can, because you said, yep, I try to be helpful. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, ASAP.
Okay, so stop.
Oh, here he goes.
He's not plowing anymore, right?
No,
And who is going out through the driveway again?
that's Kyle.
Okay, can we back it up just a second?
Because she says, oh, there he
This
goes.
is when you looked outside?
No,
You did not look outside at that point?
no, me and my daughter were in the living room at this point. You can see the curtain move when
Hold
you
on.
look outside.
You did not see Kyle go in the driveway?
No,
Okay.
right there. see Mr. Levesque get out of his truck right there.
Okay, can you stop? Mr. Levesque's not even looking at Kyle.
That's what I was referring to when I said that. He was out of his truck. You could see him by the car door.
You didn't say anything about, uh-oh, he's getting out of the truck. You didn't say anything like that.
No, that's just how I worded it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I worded it that way.
Well, let me ask you, that's the first time you saw Kyle, right? Right out the window.
Yes,
There he goes.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you. Take a seat.
Now, please, down to the video.
I am.
Thank you. We'll get that done.
There'll probably be some redirect.
So the first time you see Kyle.
Oh, he's not done.
your first
So they got rid of the
statement is, there you go, right?
yeah, that's what it looks like on camera, but that's not what I was referring to.
Again, that's what it says.
Yes, you were.
That's what it looks like on camera, right?
Sure, that's what it looks like.
And then the second thing you say shortly after that is, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. right?
Yes, I do say that.
You refer to the same he, right?
Yes.
And then the last thing you say is, I hope he
Why not-
doesn't do anything fucking dumb.
Right. I do say that as well.
Why not just admit to you were saying it about your dude? Doesn't change what happened. I mean, I get it. It changes. Oh well, yeah.
And as we look through that
Because
entire video,
She knows.
and now that you've seen it and it's fresh in your mind.
I guess it
Yeah.
would change. So
Fresh in your mind.
Yes.
sorry, guys.
You'll agree with me that Jason plowed no snow in front of your driveway.
He might have stopped his plow at the telephone pole, but every time he piled more snow, it pushed the snowbank in front of my driveway.
And I'm sure the jury will take a very close look at that video.
I'm sure they will too.
Thank you very much.
What, like 2 inches? Not even that. Not even that.
Thank you. Just briefly, look, I don't want to belabor this plowing thing too much, okay?
Right.
But I just got to ask you, you saw these kind of 4 swipes towards your pole.
Sure.
Do you know the sequence of Mr. Levesque's plowing of his own driveway?
What
You
do
know, in other words, do you know what was going to happen to the,
It's straight speculation.
Relay foundation.
sure. You had mentioned a prior kind of plowing incident that
Yes.
raised some tensions.
Right.
Did that prior plowing event actually come to an end? Did he finish plowing?
He did finish plowing.
Okay. Did it appear that he had finished plowing in the video that you saw?
No, he was not done plowing.
Candidly, those are all the questions I have.
When was that other thing, so we can be relaxed?
I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Thank you.
All set, thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for your time.
Bye, Karen.
Judge, we have another witness available. I don't know what the court's plan is in terms of brief morning break.
So yeah, it is important. If she said that about him or the victim or the defendant, because if she said it about the defendant, that's gonna be her saying like, oh, he normally does dumb things, stupid things, was her words. But she doesn't want it to be about her guy, because that means, yeah, he can become real aggressive. She knows it, and she was hoping that he wasn't going to become aggressive. I believe the guy. Tamber Jane, hi, how are you? Thanks for being on the show. It is over snow. It's absolutely silly. Tamber, it's absolutely silly. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Take our Kelly. If you guys have any comments, just put CCC if you want me to showcase them. If not, I'll just kind of grab some and as we go. We're gonna move it along until after the lunch break. I think they just take a quick little break, a little sidebar, and then they do lunch. And then let's get to. Yep, that's sidebar. Short break. They break for lunch. Let's get to. We'll just do another witness, and then we'll just call it. And then just know I've already started editing the highlight video that we can show from today, and it'll be with my expert commentary on with opinions. I always have an opinion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, would you
Especially when it
state
comes
your
to
name
legal
and spell
stuff.
your name for the court reporter, please?
Yes, my name is Lieutenant Spencer Williams Hurley. My last name is spelled Williams Hurley.
Thank you. You've given us many hints and suggestions, but I'll nevertheless ask for the record. What do you do for work?
I'm a police officer.
And where are you currently?
Currently, I'm a patrol lieutenant with the Rochester Police Department.
And I'd like to ask you to give
He looks like a nice
brief
guy.
overview, if you will, a summary of your professional training and experience.
Strictly regarding law enforcement?
Correct.
Okay. So in 2014, I got hired by the Rochester Police Department, went to the police academy, which is about 4 months long. During that time, I also ended up going to SWAT 1 and 2. I'm a SWAT team leader. And then along with that, I've gone to several medical courses regarding emergency trauma.
And could you describe your progression through rank? You just referred, I think, to yourself as a lieutenant, which is a different change in rank even from the April 4th of last year.
Yep. So initially when I got hired on, I was a patrolman. handling
Okay,
all
guys,
sorts
I
of
delayed the
calls,
ads again for 10
whatever
more
it may be,
minutes.
From stabbing, shootings, assaults, domestic violence, and the normal things that you're familiar with.
Oh,
As a
shoot.
patrol sergeant,
Sorry, thanks, guys.
Set in charge of whatever's happening on your shift. Right? So you're the ultimate catch for liability.
God, sorry, guys.
Legality.
I love
policy violations,
Sam. You're hogging the
You're
TV.
kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, the parent of the shift. Right? I think almost decisions will come through me.
God, man.
Lieutenant,
I'm surprised I even have one subscriber.
There's much more of a legal aspect to it as opposed to I'm no longer stopping cars.
So funny. Thanks, man.
Just briefly revisit it. So how long were you stopping?
Damn, I can't see.
So I did that for about 6 years. I was a sergeant for about a year and a half, and then I became a lieutenant.
And to be clear, my understanding is patrol is a little bit more than just stopping cars. Did you respond to serious offenses over that period?
I've been through everything from attempted homicides, robberies, domestic violence cases, child abuse, child pornography, the litany of good and bad aspects of law enforcement.
All right. And not to get too far in the weeds and to frankly move on soon, you had mentioned to the jury that you had gone to the academy before you were hired. Can you just briefly summarize what that means in New Hampshire when an officer goes to the academy?
Yep. So at the time I went through the academy, again, it was 16 weeks. It was a live-in academy. Monday through Friday, you're there the entire time. Think of a less militaristic boot camp. During that time, we have training at all hours, both physical, academic. We have basic first aid. We have more advanced first aid, as well as the investigation of crimes, crime scene management, crime scene processing, mental health, and basically all aspects of our job. Following that, you have the field training period where you're with a senior officer, and that's kind of when you hone those skills in an on-the-job training kind of environment.
And finally, in addition to kind of the strictly law enforcement training experience, do you have additional training and experience that is integrated with, parallel to, relevant to your work in terms of medical training?
Yeah, so prior to becoming a police officer, I was in the military. I was a Navy corpsman for 6 years. What the Navy corpsman is, it's the medical field for both the Navy and the Marine Corps. During my time, I was attached to a Marine Corps infantry battalion that did multiple combat tours with that. That part of that training, we have a 16-week hospital corpsman school. That's where we learn our basic functions in the medical field for the military. Following that, there's an additional 8 weeks of assignment to go to the Marine Corps side of things. During that time, it is entirely battlefield trauma, right? So gunshot wounds, stabbings, explosions, tourniquets, chest seals, trying to keep people alive.
Yeah, this guy got
until we
lucky.
can
He
get
got
them to a
this
higher level of
officer.
care, like a field hospital.
Not lucky,
or-
it was,
or, an air medevac.
God didn't
From
want this
there,
guy to die.
I also went to something called Operational Emergency Medical Skills. That's a 2-week course.
I really enjoy listening to your unique perspective. Thanks, Lisa Canty. Thank you so much. Push play.
Where we have more
I don't know if you were here yesterday, but man, I was going back and forth on what I thought with the opening statements. They were good.
or non-traditional methodologies for keeping people alive. I'm not going to go into the details of some of it, but it is a very advanced, it is very rigorous, and it is a very intense course where we have everything from your line level people that work in a hospital all the way up to high tier special operations that go through this course. It's a real eye opener for a lot of people. And the main focus of that is being able to keep people alive as long as possible.
That's right.
Because if we look at the human body as essentially like a plumbing system, right? How do we keep those pipes intact, right? And running as best as we can. With that, I had multiple combat tours to both Fallujah, Ramadi, and places where there was an extreme amount of combat. As a result, seeing a large number of, battlefield type injuries. I've also taught it hundreds of hours. I've probably taught tourniquets more frequently than I've made my own dinner in a lot of ways. I've been teaching thousands of people that for, at this point, probably the last 16 to close to 20 years.
That's amazing, man.
So I'd like to turn your attention to April 4th of last year. Were you on duty?
I was.
And did you become involved in this case, which I think you're familiar with as State versus Jason Levesque?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were
If he was in
at the
Ramadi, he can
station,
handle
going over some of
anything.
the information with my sergeants for how that shift had gone prior to that. And then that's when we heard the call come over both the radio and the overhead dispatch.
And briefly describe your response, if you would.
I found that the other sergeants that were with me that night, because some of them were in a shadowing period, and we headed directly to that call.
Well, we may see some body cams, so just can you clarify that shadowing period, what are you talking about?
Yep. So similar, remember how I said that after the academy, we go through a
So basically, right when this guy got there, he started plugging holes, keeping this guy from bleeding out. Saved his life, hands down. Out of all of them, he probably did the most to save his life. I mean, I don't know what the paramedics are going to testify to, but I do know this part of the story.
a field training period. So when someone gets promoted from patrolman to sergeant, they'll spend a little bit of time with either a senior sergeant or a lieutenant, kind of just showing, think of it almost like an FTO period, but it's not about how to do the job. It's more about the nuances of that position, right? So who we're going to be notifying in certain situations, the requirements of them changes from when they're a patrolman, right? It's more the overall scene as opposed to an individual task more often than not.
And I'm sorry for that kind of side piece there. I just want to return to April 4th. You said that you received a call. What was the nature of the call?
From what I remember, it said that, so someone had called in and said that there were 4 shots and that their boyfriend was shot in the face. And usually when a call comes in, we only get a little snippet of the conversation that person had either with a 911 dispatcher or with our dispatcher.
How quickly did you respond after receiving that call?
Instantly, matter of seconds.
And do you know whether other officers responded potentially before you even?
They did, yep. So as we were leaving the building, you could already hear lights and sirens, well, the sirens, leaving the parking lot, heading in that direction.
Would you please offer us a narrative of the events, your actions that you took from this point moving forward, please?
Yep, so as soon as I got with my other sergeants, we got into the supervisor's vehicle. The drive was very short. We're talking maybe a quarter of a mile in reality. Light sirens as fast as we could, got over there. As I'm pulling up, I could see officers taking a man into custody at gunpoint. At that point, my focus is I have 2 sergeants with me. I know exactly how they're going to handle this situation. I know that I have an experience in medical, and I'm going to take advantage of that at that time. So we had already kind of distributed tasks while we were driving up there. And then I immediately started looking for who may be the potential victim.
were you able to find who you later learned to be Kyle Violette at the scene?
I did.
Can you describe where it is you found him?
On the sidewalk, kind of between a snowbank, there's the height of the snowbank and the nature of the light, and there was a storm going at the time, was kind of hiding in a little bit of shadow. So at first it didn't quite register what was there, but I saw him laying on his back, head towards me, and I could see a fair amount of blood both on the sidewalk and on the snowbank beside me.
And after identifying somebody clearly in need of medical attention, what did you do?
Started trying to treat. So putting on gloves at that point in time, because again, if I don't know that person, we have to provide basic, protection for ourselves as well. So I started applying gloves. And then at that point, part of the treatment is trying to expose the wounds as much as possible to see exactly what we're dealing with.
Were there other officers adjacent or assisting you in this process?
There were.
And can you then describe for us, just with a narrative, what it is you did, what it is you saw?
Yep. So when I started, so right off the bat, the obvious injuries, there was a wound to the left side of the jaw, which was very clearly a bullet hole. It also looked as though the round might have been lodged higher up in the cheek. As I exposed the torso, I started seeing a couple different holes, one on the lower right abdomen, one on the left rib cage, one on the upper part of the body near the collarbone on the left-hand side. We start trying to see what we're going to do for treatment of that. I couldn't see anything clearly that would say an extremity hemorrhage that would be like a tourniquet or something along those lines. So the idea is, if you kind of look at the torso, when there's a bleed or there's a hole there, the idea is you're trying to plug that hole as quick as possible. So your gloved hand will go over something like that. It prevents, one, oxygen from going into the cavity in case the lung collapses. And it also tries to prevent as much blood as possible from coming out. So if you think of it like a water balloon with small holes in it, you're trying to plug those holes as best as possible.
And you just described, as by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. Did you examine the lower part of his body? Were you able to do that at the scene, given the time and circumstances?
No. We were able to just get a rough idea of how much blood might have been there. And there was nothing to indicate at the time an arterial bleed that would have needed immediate attention, as opposed to the things more at the realm of his lungs. I also knew that we had EMS fairly quickly on the way. He was laying in the snow at that point in time. So there is an element of keeping them out of the snow and trying to keep them as warm as possible, given the scenario.
Can you tell us about any actual steps, interventions you took medically to stabilize or address the wounds that you did see?
Yep. So right off the bat, as I said, we're trying to keep as much of the fluid in the body and as much air out of the body as possible. So right off the bat, you
So he basically
with a hand, gloved hand, things along those lines. When I lifted up his shirt and we started cutting away the shirt, I saw a hole under the upper collarbone. My concern at that point in time is directly in that area, you have the subclavian vein, which is like a garden hose of a vein, where if that gets nicked, it can actually bleed quite profusely. When doing that, I actually take my fingers, which are gloved, and stick them into the wound to try to feel if I can see if there's blood coming from a particular location. That's also a benefit, because kind of like the little boy sticking his finger in the well, we're trying to keep everything in there, and that's frankly a good way to do it. When we do that, I roll him over, trying to check to see if there's any exit wounds. Again, at this point, we just know somebody was shot. I don't necessarily know the caliber. I don't know the power. I don't know if there is going to create an exit wound or if it's going to stay inside the body. So we're at least going to check. Didn't notice anything on the back, but that's also when we started noticing something on like the lower hip. Eventually, we also roll him over onto the side because he does have blood going into his mouth. I don't want him aspirating or bringing that into his lungs. So by allowing him to lay on his side as long as possible, it allows the blood to come out of the mouth and maintain an airway so that he can continue to try to talk and continue to breathe on his own.
At this juncture, while you were making these observations and interventions, are you making determinations about exit wounds and entry wounds, or not at this point?
Yes. So this is a constant evaluation. Again, this is one of those things that happens. in the
Okay, so
dark.
we pretty much know, like he
Long
saved this
things
guy's
going on.
life. Let's get to the
Time
video
attention. So
of him commenting on the
constant
video.
evaluation. So one are things that
It's super interesting though. Amazing. Save this guy.
Thank you. Lieutenant, we're showing you an initial just still frame. Can you identify that?
Yes, so that would be Summer Street to the right. The But the victim's sitting right there. That's the snowbanker.
Victim, you just used the term right there. Can I, for the record, just clarify, appears to be.
Oh, I see him. I see him.
A house and
He's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, you won't be able to see my,
This is.
maybe you should.
Essentially.
Yeah, he's like right where my mouse is.
Perspective of you on this scene, literally the view from your chest.
Oh, they did get a little bit of snow, didn't they? Oh yeah, they got a little bit of snow. My bad.
No, I mean, I just want to make sure we're clear here. This is still ID that's being played to the jury.
Right.
The ID has
Very
to
well,
be
speaking of it.
Correct. Before you go any further,
I understand. So, sir, does this appear to be a fair and accurate representation depicted by your body-worn camera?
Yes, this is.
So it's a graphic video warning, guys.
You confirm the protocol in terms of preserving it for.
I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what that means.
The moment
I don't know what that means for what they're going to show.
A couple things happen. So when we shut this off, it asks us to save it as a particular type of file. So it could be accidental, a traffic stop, a case file, or something like that. I select case file because it's going to go into a case. And then when we get back to the station, it gets uploaded into the cloud, into our servers, and then we can assign that specifically to a case with a particular case number that has a unique identifier.
And did you take those steps in this case?
It did.
That's right, Ian.
Your Honor, I move to strike the ID and move this video in as a full exhibit.
Ian says, nice to see the popo in a positive light. They tend to be ignored for the bad ones. They sure do. There's a lot of bad ones, but I think there's even more good ones. Absolutely.
With the same.
Oh, I never got to my, because of everything that's happened, I never got to showing you guys my, all the videos I have of the cops planning drugs on traffic stops. Oh, I got to do that very soon. No, I'm not, and not to like highlight, cops are bad. I'm not a cop hater. Cops protect my family. So, definitely not a cop hater.
Reservations and with the same instruction.
understood. The ID will be stricken as a full exhibit.
Thank you. Counselor?
Oh, yeah, that's a little graphic.
No, I need you to stay just like that. Hey, hold on. I need you to. Yeah. Okay. Go on, come. Alice, you got another. I'm gonna get a oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to back it up a little bit.
Hey, I'm gonna run. Hey, I'm gonna roll you onto your back, okay? Move your legs. Move your legs. Move your legs. Roll over this side. Where else we got?
I gave the warning.
This one covered? Okay. Abdomen, yeah, got the abdomen as well. Right here. Yep. Let's go right here.
Yeah, we don't need to see that. Let's get back to the testimony.
We have more testimony.
They would have been medically necessary.
Sorry, guys. We're more interested in the testimony. Yeah, Jamie Palmer says, I was trying to think of that too. Like, yeah, he's laying in the snow, right? That would slow down the bleeding. But if he's already lost too much blood, that's not enough to keep his body warm. So I guess I bet you there's like a fine line of what is good and what is bad when it becomes a bad thing, right? Maybe to start, maybe if, I don't know. It's all speculation from there. Let's hear a little bit more of this testimony. He's only got like 4 more minutes of testimony.
I'll ask it this way, why did you do the things you did there? in this instance?
They would have been medically necessary. If in a lot of those circumstances, especially the abdomen bleed or the upper chest bleed, one of the concerns that we have is like most things, when there's that initial impact of a high velocity bullet, right? The body does have a mechanism of self-protection, right? Muscles are it's almost like when you hit your elbow really hard on the table, right? The muscle contracts. And what can that happen is that can prevent blood flow from going for a little while. But when the body starts to relax, or you've lost enough blood, it then opens up like floodgates. So those kind of interventions are medically necessary to keep a person alive long enough to be able to actually get to a hospital.
I was going to ask, to what degree of medical necessity?
Yeah, I like this guy.
You just stated that this was to keep him alive.
Yes.
Do you consider that a fair assessment based on your training experience?
Oh, what
and
is-
you witnessed there?
I do.
James Collins cares, and he does, says the cold would speed up the bleeding, I would think, as blood pumps to raise the body temperature. I don't know though. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. Super interesting though to think about those different all the different things. Wolfie says he did a phenomenal job. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Lightweight man crush on this guy.
We just watched
bromance on this guy.
The video depicts you transferring this patient now to EMS, right?
I just appreciate the guys who are out there like
And at that
protecting
point,
and
did
saving
your
lives.
involvement medically essentially cease.
Correct.
Can you just briefly summarize then your involvement following Mr. Violette being taken to the hospital?
Yep, I assisted in cordoning off the area. I contacted the support captain to try to get our detective bureau started to come out, because at that point, our main focus is scene security. I don't want anyone in or out. I want to preserve the scene as much as possible, and then pass it on to a higher level investigation, because the amount of time necessary to further this goes often beyond the capabilities of patrol, and we want to move it to our detective bureau.
Did you participate in or make any orders to protect the integrity of the scene?
Besides further or improving the tape barrier.
Yes, Dee Dee
nope.
Razzle Dazzle.
Sergeant Smith was able to.
She's hiding
handle
something.
The majority of that.
You're the first person to refer to the tape barrier, so can you just clarify that?
Yep, so it's just your traditional crime scene tape around the outside. The idea is we make it as large as possible because we can always shrink it after the fact. And that was one of the things that I had done, is make the scene larger to make sure we isolate as much of the original evidence as possible.
And following your efforts to communicate information on to detectives, secure the scene, did you play any additional role that night?
No.
And essentially, it sounds like you passed it on to the detectives. Did they show up?
They did.
Okay.
They better.
If I could just have a minute. Sir, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Attorney Sisti, I think you've met, have some questions as well.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First, I just want to say that was a really great job you guys did.
Thank you.
And your community should be really proud of you, honestly.
Thank you very much.
During the course of the emergency treatment there, and you explained it great to the jury, we were hearing Kyle say things to you. That's generally a very good thing to hear when you're in that situation, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He was responding to some of the things you were saying, right?
Correct.
What kind of things was he responding to, just so we can get a better idea?
Well, one of the main focuses is when we talk to people, one is to reassure them, that helps stave off shock a little bit. It also, you want people to continue have the will to fight, to go further. So by constantly reassuring, you keep that interaction. It also allows me to establish the integrity of his airway, right? Because if he can talk, I understand that at least something can go in and out, right? And then also, a lot of times what we'll do is people know where they've been hurt. So especially in the beginning of the video, you hear him repeatedly say, "My face, my face, my face."
Okay, so he was, thank God, he was.
And he did get shot in the
He
butt.
was at least
So
responding to some degree.
Yes.
He probably said, yeah, and my butt.
His injuries and point at that point to where he believed he was shot.
Correct.
He's alive, so we can laugh at it a little bit.
That was 7 minutes or so, and he was able to sustain, it wasn't a great level of communication, but some level of communication all the way until loading him onto the ambulance.
Yay. Hey, Beachine, how are you
Yes,
doing
and
tonight?
That's pretty
Or
common,
this
especially
or
with
this
multiple
afternoon?
victims in the torso is they usually stay conscious.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
The fact that he could say the way he said it, I mean, we could hear it, the way he said, my face. Does that change your view at all about the likelihood he would die if there wasn't serious medical intervention?
It's not so much exactly what he's saying, but it's how what he says changes over time. In the beginning, he was saying, my face, my face, my face. When he's rolled onto his side, it eventually changed to, I'm dying. And what that is as one of a big symptom of something called a tension pneumothorax, which is where the lung collapses and pressure slowly builds up in that chest cavity, which is one of the main reasons why we.
So you probably feel like you're
that
dying.
wound to prevent air from going in.
Oh, it's got to be
It's this
scary.
sense of impending doom, right? So this anxiety, because slowly you're losing the ability to take full breaths. You're not getting as much oxygen. You've lost blood, so you're not able to get it enough through your tissues, right? The perfusion of oxygen through your tissues. So what happens is,
Oh, yeah,
slow
man, I couldn't
onset of
imagine.
anxiety that's very common with both bleeding out and with severe trauma, where you're slowly suffocating to death.
Oh, God, man. Poor guy, man.
Those are my questions.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Beach, for the gifted membership. Thank you so much.
Dave, your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The State Falls Officer Tiana Adams.
I don't know if we want to watch her. She's probably just going to say more of the same. I don't think she participated in the way. Let's see what she has to say here. Really just want to see as much of this video evidence as we can.
How do you recognize this video?
Recommend it as the original footage from the residence.
Now, I just want to be clear, this ring camera footage, does this show you the specific address of 41 or 43 Summer Street?
It's next door.
What, based on your review of this, were you able to determine through reviewing this video?
I can hear the argument and the shots that were fired.
She said there she was able to see the shots that were fired.
Is this how you recall seeing the video when you viewed it?
He did take one in the nads. Woofy. He did. Oh, did they already? Was it already the gunshots? Let me just back up a second.
Officer Adams, after you viewed this footage from the resident of 38 Summer Street,
No, that was just the car going by.
is this how you recall seeing the video when you viewed it?
Oh, okay, there we go. That's so crazy he walked up on him, though. I just still can't get past that, guys. You stopped him. He's not trying to take your gun anymore. You know what I mean? I just, let's just say he's trying. Let's just say their defense is he was going to take my gun. He's coming to take my gun, so I shoot him. He's face down on the ground. Do I walk over to him and keep blasting him? I think that's where he's going to lose this. I really do. I know. I keep going back and forth on it, but I think that's where he's going to lose this. Yeah, I don't see any way around that part. I really don't. We're just gonna watch and see what the paramedic has to say, and then I'll let you guys go. Well, I mean, of course you can go whenever you want, but then I'll just sign off, and I just want to see what the paramedic has to say. Yeah, paramedics are. That's a lot of training. Yeah, this whole scene went down about a stone's throw from a police station. So pain. Yeah. When you're in pain, flail. Oh, you guys can't see it again. I'm sitting here watching it by myself. Well, I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you. Those were the questions I had. Attorney Sisti, I'm not sure you've got.
She
you may have
basically
some
just.
follow-up questions.
I'm sorry, guys. God, man. I just got my crap together tonight. Thanks for being a good sport. Thanks, James Collins. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sitting there watching it by myself, and then I'm getting ready to end it because that's all she's testifying to. Yeah, so there we have it. We just we didn't get much today. We know that when the defense gets to present their case tomorrow, it's going to be a little more exciting. We're going to see a little more fireworks. I'm for sure. We're going to see. I know about fireworks, but we're definitely going to see tensions rise when the defense attorney starts, saying what he's going to say. Like, yeah, he came out and threatened the dude's life, but he's going to have a hard time defending. I'm just going to definitively say it. There's no way I can change my mind on that. Is that he's going to have a hard time defending the shooting a man while he's down, a back shooter. Like I said yesterday, back in the old days in the West, if you were a back shooter, that was the lowest you could be. There was no lower. There was not a lot of chomoing going on back then. A lot of SOs back then. I'm sure that existed, but they didn't talk about it or whatever have you. But out of all the Westerns I've ever read in my time, and I've read a lot of Westerns, the worst thing you could be back then was a back shooter. And I think that still exists today. Like if you shoot a man in the back, he's no threat to you. He's no threat to you. So thanks for stopping in today, guys. He's a nut popper. Yeah. There's no lower scum on the earth than a nut popper. That's so true. So true. I appreciate that, Ian. I see your comment. Yeah, we didn't really learn too much today, except for that his girlfriend's a Karen, and that most likely her comments were her talking about her old man, because she knows he's got a temper. She knows he probably didn't like the guy. They probably didn't like him because he did. If the guy did refuse the mother to, say 2 years prior to snowplow the driveway, which makes the dude not a very nice guy anyway. then yeah, they probably just didn't like the guy. The girlfriend never even talked to him. It's just a crazy situation. All this over a snowbank. It's just silly. It's just silly. But I know none of us in this community would ever do anything like that over snow. If anything, we'd be out there trying to help them plow, or if that was our neighbor, we'd be trying to help them shovel their driveway. I know, I did. I'm friends with the last person's driveway I shoveled was one of our state senators here. He was in Helena at the Capitol. Or he might even have been in Washington, D.C. I can't remember. We had a big snowfall, and I went and helped her shovel her driveway. A couple of us from the church, we went down there. So that's me, man, hanging out with state senators now. No longer in federal prison, just doing the right thing and trying to have as much integrity as possible with everything I do. I'm not always successful, but I always hold myself accountable, as we all should do. And I just love this community. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for the super chats earlier today. And thank you for the gifted memberships. Thank you, Wolfie, so much for the 5 gifted memberships. 5 of you are about to become a member. Please stay tuned for some members only content. I'm trying to see what other creators are doing. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to this. I'm seeing what they're doing and what's something that's fun. A Zoom call is definitely in the works. I am releasing a documentary on the doctor that diagnosed people with cancer and then gave them treatment, some of them for over 10 years, and that treatment ended up killing them. Yeah, I'm going to be presenting that documentary. Hopefully, if my wife lets me work on it late, I'll be able to finish it up. It's almost done. It could have been done 2 months ago, but I started doing this channel and working with someone, and now everyone knows that story, and here we are today, having a ton of fun. Well, you guys get to watch me watch a court hearing. How fun is that? It's epic. Like I said, I lost 14 subscribers yesterday watching court stuff, so I should expect another 14 tonight. Like, I'm not subscribing to it so I can watch a guy watch court. It could be a whole new niche. Come on, guys, watch me watch court. When I first was seeing, because a lot of gamers, kids watch gamers play video games, and that used to blow me away. But I finally realized it wasn't the video game, though. It was the actual personality of the creator, of what they were talking about while they were doing it. A really good one is a guy, I love you too, DD Razzle Dazzle. A guy named Oompaville. His real name is Caleb. He's got a huge channel, millions and millions of subscribers now, but he started off just doing video games. Now he's got a great channel, and yeah, he's so fun to watch. He has admitted to being on the spectrum, and he's just a super clever, funny guy. And my wife says I act like him a little bit. So, just with voices and being silly and, a lightweight whack job. So, all right, guys, you guys have an amazing evening. I will see you all in the morning. If you can make it to the Morning Mayhem show, that's at 9:00 Mountain Time. I don't know what we got planned for tomorrow morning. It can be a lot of things. Maybe I'll surprise us all with the episode of Florida or Germany. You guys did vote to keep doing it, so I will keep doing it. Maybe they left because you hogged the TV. Probably. No. My dad used to say, how did he say it? He's like, son, your mom and dad don't make glass or something. It was something about, he'd always say when I'd stand in front of the TV, he'd be like, son, we didn't make a glass child or something. I can't remember, man. I'll have to ask him what his little saying was when we would stand in front of the TV. It was super funny. My dad's a good guy. Till tomorrow. This is. I gotta change the outro. The girls changed it on me. I thought I was gonna leave in an epic way. Till tomorrow, this is Legal Livewire and After the Bars, and I will see you guys all in the Mayhem Show and After the Bars. Have a wonderful